Welcome back. This is Coach Dave with Dadbodsoccer. Kicking off my first video podcast. You can see I got some new equipment. It's been fun to mess around with. And what I realized was there are a lot of questions out there from regular old people, regular old parents with kids who are just regular kids. They're not going to be professional athletes, coaches who are coaching, who aren't professional coaches. They're helping out. They want to do right by the kids. Got a lot of questions about how to do this right with youth sports. In fact, my older brother, Sean, he's coaching for the first time. I think this past year, he started coaching his son at a rec level, and he asked me some questions. I was so excited to talk to him about it. And since then, so I've kind of worked with him a little, and he's been doing great. And we just spoke the other day, and I asked him, I said, hey, what are some of the questions you have? What are things that are showing up? He said, I got 4. Of course. He said, and here are the 4. How do you get your kids to want to practice at home? Not at practice, not at games. How do you get them to have a ball at their feet and want to improve and do things at home? 2, what do you do as a coach when your team is crushing everyone in your league or in your division? And then on the flip side, what do you do when you're the coach when your team's getting crushed by everybody in your division? 3, and this is a really interesting one. How do you teach positions for the first time? I'm a big proponent of not teaching positions too early. I think the first 2 years, 3 years of rec league, so I'm talking 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds, I don't think they really need to be having set disciplined positioning. But at what point do you? And once it's time for that, how do you teach it? Finally, are there some simple endurance exercises that rec and younger players can do? Because at the end of the day, soccer is a running game. It is a running game. You might have the ball for 5 to 10% of the time on a smaller field, if it's 77, 99, whatever. You might have the ball a lot less than that on an 11v11. But the whole rest of the time, you're expected to run. So how do you start to build them up in their endurance, and not just their endurance, but their buy-in on the fact that this is a game of running? I have an 18-year-old who's a total stud. He wants to play in college, and I'm trying to help him fall in love with the running that comes as part of building up your fitness prior to the season. How do you love getting ready for the season? How do you love the pain? How do you love the discipline of getting up early, hitting the pavement, doing the sprints, doing the workout, hitting the gym before you're even on the field? So I think those are really good. And there's a 5th one that I'm going to add is, how do coaches and parents of youth athletes imbue or inspire or teach or model true confidence in these players? True confidence. I don't mean, hey, here's a trophy, great job, Bobby, or everybody's awesome, right? The Lego movie song. Not everybody is awesome. That's okay. But how do we teach them true confidence? Where does confidence come from? Can we learn it? Can you develop it? And I have a good buddy, Andrew Schultz, who's a longtime athlete and coach, and has some really good insights on confidence and where it comes from, and how do we build it and develop into ourselves, that I think we can apply down here to a youth sports level. Because remember, 99.9% of these kids we ever coach, in my case 100%, are not going to be professionals. They just aren't. A very small percentage will play in college. Vast majority of kids who play sports play it because they love it, play it because they want an experience, and we as coaches and we as parents have a responsibility to teach them the lessons of sport. And it's not who gets the wins and losses. That's part of it. It's not that. That's not the primary aim. And I'd love to focus in on that a little bit related to this conversation about confidence. So got a lot of cool things coming up, a lot of cool episodes. If you have some questions, if you have things you'd love to hear about or talk about or get some thoughts on for myself or some of my coaching colleagues, drop them in the comments, hit me up in messages, and we'll get them in a future episode. All right, well, this is Coach Dave, Dadbodsoccer, kicking off the first video blog, podcast. I don't even know what you call it. But it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to having a lot of conversations about regular kids, regular parents, regular coaches, trying to do right by our youth athletes. That's me signing off.